Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a cook with me. Come along and cook dinner. When a lot of you saw my menu for this week, apparently this recipe sparked some interest and several of you asked me to do a cook with me. So why not? I have to cook anyway. Might as well film it. I've never made this before, so it's crapshoot. So I'm going to turn you around and I'm going to show you the ingredients we need to make our Swedish meatball pasta casserole. Particular order. We need some fat-free half and half, panko breadcrumbs, salt and pepper, an egg, minced garlic, some milk, beef broth, Worcestershire sauce, pound of ground beef, some shell pasta, an onion, and some light butter. So the first thing we need to do is get started making the meatballs because they need to chill for a half an hour. So let's get that going. I have my medium 10-inch cast iron skillet heated up on the stove, and I am just going to add in our chopped onion. I don't have anything in the pan, so I figure the onions will sweat enough. And then to that, we're going to add our salt and our pepper to the onions. And we are just going to let that cook, stirring very frequently for about 5 minutes until everything starts getting soft and translucent. Okay, the onions are done cooking. So now I'm just going to add in some garlic. And I'm going to let that go for just about a minute or two until it gets fragrant, but garlic burns very quickly, so you need to stay on top of that. So not very long at all. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add 1/3 cup of milk to the skillet and bring it up to a simmer. Okay, that was pretty much instant on the simmer there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this mixture over and get ready to make the meatballs. In this bowl I have 1/2 cup of panko breadcrumbs, and we're going to add the onion mixture right in. And we are going to combine it. And it's supposed to be nice and thick like this. And then we're just going to set it aside and let it cool a little bit. And this is the base of our meatballs. Okay, while our breadcrumb and onion mixture is cooling, in this bowl I have 1 beaten egg, and I'm just going to take my ground beef and crumble it over the beaten egg. And then we're going to add in our mixture. And then we are going to mix that well. And I am a hand mixer. I like to mix with my hands, so I make sure it's all really well combined. So that's what we're going to do. Now, you can cook the meatballs one of 2 ways. And I'm thinking about it. You can either fry them in a pan, or you can bake them in the oven. Whatever you want to do. But before we even think about cooking them, we need to chill the mixture. So what we're going to do is we are going to form these into about 16 meatballs. And because of my OCD, I am going to weigh it out and then divide, just so I make sure, you know, I like my points to be right. And I want to have a good amount of, oops, what am I doing there? Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I want to make sure they're all the same. So I've got 620 grams. So I'm going to divide that by 16, and that's how many meatballs I'm going to make. So each serving will have 4 meatballs in it. If I find they're too big doing it that way, maybe I'll change it up the next time. I'm not sure. So I'm going to get these meatballs, I'm going to get this divided up and get these meatballs rolled. So each of my meatballs is going to be about 39 grams. So to assure they're all the same size, I'm going to weigh them. Do you have to do that? Absolutely not. But like I said, it makes me feel better if I do that. So I am going to get all these rolled and then decide how I want to cook them while they're chilling. So I decided that I was going to bake the meatballs instead of frying them, just because number 1, it's less mess. Number 2, I'm lazy. And number 3, sometimes I get a better result when I bake meatballs versus frying them, because sometimes I find I'm not a good meatball maker and they fall apart. So I am going to put them on my broiler pan that I sprayed with nonstick spray, and I'm going to put them in the oven at 350 degrees for a total of 15 minutes. I'm going to turn them halfway through. So when these come out of the oven, we will start assembling the casserole and making our sauce. Okay, so we have a 9x9 dish sprayed with nonstick spray, and I'm just going to put the pasta in there. I'm using whole wheat because I am on purple, so for me this pasta is 0. And then we are going to just take our meatballs and just kind of nestle them into the pasta. And then we're going to make our sauce that's going to go over the top. So I will be back with the sauce, and then we're going to get this in the oven, and not a minute too soon because I'm hungry. Okay, in the same skillet that we cooked the onions, I melted 3 tablespoons of light butter. And then I'm going to put in a 1/4 cup of flour and stir that around and let it cook for about a minute, just so the flour is no longer raw and gets a little bit brown and toasty, but you don't want to burn it, so keep stirring it. I'm going to forward this part. Zip in a minute. Yes. Okay. Now to our flour, I'm going to add, this is 2 cups of beef broth, 1/4 cup of water, and 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce. And I'm just going to add about half so I can really give it a good stir and get it well combined so there's no lumps. That's why I love my roux whisk. It really does a nice job. Okay, now we are just going to bring this up to a simmer. And let it simmer for just a few minutes, stirring it off, and don't let it boil hard, just a slight simmer. And then we'll add the rest of the ingredients and we're gonna get this in the oven. As you can see, it's starting to simmer on the ends, so we are going to put in a 1/4 cup of fat-free 50/50. Stir that in really well. Let it come back up to a simmer, and we're gonna let it lightly simmer for about 10 minutes till it gets a little thickened and reduces just a tiny bit. Okay, it is done. Now you notice it's a different dish. This is an 11 by 7. The 9 by 9 was too small. And if you also notice, there's an addition to the sauce. I was cleaning out the fridge while the sauce was cooking and noticed some mushrooms that Doug had cooked up and we needed to use. So I decided, why not? Let's just throw them in because we love mushrooms. Yeah, it's not very traditional Swedish meatball, but it's all good. So we are just going to pour the sauce over top. It's a 2-person job here. Doug's a better cameraman than I am here. But my shoulder's really bothering me today, so I didn't want to lift up the pan. Okay. Now we're just going to swoosh it all around. Okay, I put a lot of mushroom. Whoa, I put a lot of mushrooms in there. Okay, I'm just going to kind of stir it around to make sure the sauce is covering the pasta, and then I'm going to pop this in the oven for 30 minutes at 375. Okay, here it is right out of the oven. I am going to plate it up and I'll show you what a serving looks like. And here it is plated up. It is 4 meatballs. And then I just kind of eyeballed and divided the pasta by 4 in the dish. It was kind of easy to see. And that is a serving. It is 9 points on blue and green and 5 points on the purple plan. And I am serving it with a side salad, and probably should have added another vegetable, but that's why I threw the mushrooms in there. I just realized I forgot to film an outro for this video, so here I am the next day. I just want to tell you, it was so good. Oh my gosh, we absolutely loved it. And I love the addition of the mushrooms. But see, we love mushrooms. Absolutely, if you don't like mushrooms, definitely leave them out. You don't need them, but we love mushrooms. So I highly recommend this. It was a little more work than like a, than what I usually make, like a quick 30-minute dinner, but it was well worth it. Honestly, we just absolutely loved it. So let me know in the comments below if this is something you think you'll give a try. And that's it. If you haven't subscribed, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button for me and the notification bell. Leave me a comment, give this video a thumbs up, and I will talk to you all later.